So guys, Rufai, Dr. Abati, and other crew members on Arise TV have all reacted to Tinubu jackpying again. Tinubu has just left Nigeria for France. Despite all that is happening back home, look at the crisis in Rivers State, look at what is happening in Edo State. The northerners were seen in trucks, and we heard that the truck was, heading to the south, that they are preparing for war and all that. There's a whole lot going on the social media, but I don't think this is the right time for Tinubu to just jackpot. You need to take your time and watch this video and see some of the reactions. Also, we all know that the Senate president, is being accused again by a former senator that he tried bribing them, and he has talked about how he's now running the Senate as if it's personal empire. All these Arise television crew members have all reacted to it. Just take your time and watch, just for you to know that the failure by this government is undescribable. Just take your time and watch this video. Take a look.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2-week working visit to Paris has been met with a flurry of reactions online. Well, according to Bayo Onanuga, the president's special advisor on media and publicity, the purpose of the president's visit is to conduct a mid-term appraisal of his administration, review key achievements, and plan future reforms. This visit marks Tinubu's 7th trip to Paris since taking office in 2023. While the visit is officially described as work focus, some Nigerians have expressed skepticism, questioning the frequency and necessity of such trips, especially in light of Nigeria's ongoing economic challenges, while others support the president's international engagements, viewing them as necessary for governance and diplomacy. Let me read part of Bayo Onanuga's statement he put out yesterday, State House press statement. During the visit, the president will appraise his administration's midterm performance and assess key milestones. He will also use the retreat to review the progress of ongoing reforms and engage in strategic planning ahead of his administration's 2nd anniversary. This period of reflection will inform plans to deepen ongoing reforms and accelerate national development priorities in the coming year. While away, President Tinubu will remain fully engaged with his team and continue to oversee governance activities. He'll return to Nigeria in about a fortnight, very soon, in about a fortnight. Let me take a reaction before I come to you, Vimbai. This person wrote, when will the French president also visit Nigeria on working visit? Working visit indeed. What has been the benefit of all these working visits to Nigeria and Nigerians? Asking Nigerians to tighten their belt, but on the other hand, traveling every 3 months and exporting dollars instead of produce. What is the exchange rate today? Or is he going to spend naira in France? A good leader leads by example, and wasting money for travels, parking slot, and demurrage costs for the jet etc. is not one of the quality of a leader who cares for the citizens. Besides, you all claimed he has reformed the country. What is he always going to do in France? And how long will it take to build or make available here in Nigeria? May God save Nigeria. That was such a cheeky tweet, but that's the opposition speaking there, and that is the question out there for many Nigerians who are really facing the economic hardship. They see the president going on these trips, and yet they're saying that the president has conducted a lot of reforms. But on the other side, people are applauding his foreign trips. Vimbai.
Oji, earlier before you came on, Aaron was broadcasting from Uyo, and we spoke about the beauty of Uyo and Akwa Ibom. Fantastic places where the president can go and get some fresh air and reflect on, as we reach the 2-year milestone of this administration. There's Obudu, Cattle Ranch, up in the beautiful mountains, beautiful fresh air there. Jos, wow. Jos is still a place that gives you so much respite. You can relax, There are so many wonderful places where one can go and refresh and reflect right here in Nigeria. And we would expect him to be the chief marketing officer of all of those wonderful places. Imagine the economic contribution he would make when he and his entourage arrive in these places, support the local tourism sectors, the local hotels, the local... This doesn't read well, especially when you go on social media and you start seeing people from other countries, especially African countries, crack jokes about this and start saying, oh, so where's your president this week, and so forth. It doesn't look good. That's one thing. The optics of it, the cost of it. We've been preaching Orosaya reports since 2023. We've not seen any cut down, a few announcements made here and here, but any tangible cut in government spending, no, we have not. Then the other thing is, Oji, the entire world is talking about Donald Trump's tariffs, Liberation Day. Guess what? Other African presidents have started reacting to the percentage of tariffs imposed on them. Nigeria just got slapped with a 14% tariff from the United States. Our crude goes to United States, and our entire national budget is based off of crude. Where's the reaction? We're waiting for the reaction from Nigeria, yet to get a response. There's so many things going on right now that I don't think we have the luxury of a 2-week break in a beautiful resort somewhere in Europe. It's just, the optics are wrong, and it also just does not read well. We have more pertinent issues. Now, very quickly.
One was trending in Kogi State, where the state's Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Fanwo, accused Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan of inciting violence during her homecoming rally on Wednesday. Well, on Tuesday, Senator Natasha defied security restrictions and arrived by helicopter in her hometown of Ihima Okehi local government area, where she was welcomed by her supporters. Fanwo spoke on live television, criticizing Akpoti Uduaghan's claim that Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo, and his predecessor, Yahaya Bello, were plotting to assassinate her. The commissioner warned that such allegations could trigger violent confrontations. Let's listen to Natasha.
On the 12th of March, Akpabio spoke to Governor Ododo to recall me, but he told him to be impossible because the masses are with her, the people are with her. But Akpabio was not satisfied. He then sent for Yahaya Bello. And it was actually Senator Asukwo from Cross River that drove Yahaya Bello from Hilton Hotel. I was informed of everything. And when I got to know, hold on, the meetings was in two folds. They told him to commence my recall and that he was going to fund it. Of course, monies changed hands that night. The second thing he told him was that he should try and kill me. I didn't make this public, but I wrote to the IG of police. And Akpabio told Yahaya Bello, I am saying, standing by what I've said. He told him that he should make sure that killing me does not happen in Abuja. It should be done here. So it will seem as if it's the people that killed me here.
Dr. Abati, serious allegations here. The commissioner also said that the rally was aimed at inciting her people and also eliciting reactions from the supporters of other principal actors, and that if they had reacted, it would have led to a lot of bloodshed. He also defended the government's decision to ban rallies, saying that it was necessary to prevent a breakdown of law and order. Before I come to you, Dr. Abati, let's play a clip of Natasha's homecoming before we come back for a discussion. All right, Dr. Abati, I said I was coming to you, but let me take this so we can tie it all together. Meanwhile, Former lawmaker representing Adamawa North, Elisha Abbo, has criticized Senate President Godswill Akpabio's handling of Natasha's suspension, accusing him of political bias and high-handedness. He spoke on Arise Prime Time with Charles Anyagolo. Abbo argued that Akpabio's actions, including withdrawing Natasha's security and barring her from the National Assembly, were unfair and put her life at risk. He also accused Akpabio of being vindictive, even towards him, after he challenged him in the Senate before his removal. Let's take a look.
Akpabio came to my hotel room around 2 a.m. and pleaded that I should work for him. And I told him that I will not work for you because I'm already committed to Senator Yari, and these are my reasons. After the election, one of these days we were in his house, and we had a lengthy discussion, and he started taking me around the house. And he said, "Do you know that I have a chapel in my house?" I said, "Wow, you have a chapel here." I said, "Let me see." We went there and he showed me the chapel. And in the chapel, he told me that, "You know, you are my brother." I said, "Yes." He said, 5 senators will leave the Senate. He said, 5. I said, "How did you know?" He said, "I'm the Senate president. I know 5 senators are leaving." And truth what Akpabio said, 5 of us left. Every senator that was removed from the Senate got their own official vehicles, leaving only Senator Abbo alone. Senator Darlington got his own. The 2 senators from Plateau, the other Senator Ohere, the 4 of us removed by the court. They all got their own. Because I challenged Akpabio, I was the only senator that they refused to give him the car. That is the vindictiveness of somebody called Akpabio.
All right, another serious allegation, Dr. Abati here. But you know, when I was listening to that, all I could think was, Akpabio really likes to take people to his chapel. It's the second person we're hearing say he likes to take people around the house. But seriously, you know, on Tuesday was quite the story when we saw Natasha accusing, you know, the Senate President and Usman Udodo and Yahaya Bello of trying to kill her. And now we're hearing that serious defamation, Dr. Abati.
Okay, number one, Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaha defied the ban that had been placed on rallies and public gatherings, both by the Kogi State government and also the police. And she said it was Salah season, and that there is nowhere in the Constitution where she has broken any law, and that she was not campaigning, she was just going home for Salah holiday, you know, to meet our people. And I think it's very interesting that the state government has not said she violated any law. After all, the Nigerian Constitution creates room for freedom of association, for freedom of movement, for freedom of thought and belief. The responsibility of the police and the state government was to, you know, provide protection, to make sure that there was no breakdown of law and order. And it's not proven that there was any breakdown of law and order, you know, as a result of that homecoming that she had in Hima, in Ukei local government area, as a daughter of Ibira land. But going beyond that, Kingsley Fanwood, the Commissioner for Information, said that some of the things she said there were provocative and could have led to the breakdown of law and order. Because, in his view, you know, these allegations that there was a collusion, you know, Senator Asuko was mentioned, the governor was mentioned, the White Lion, former governor of Kogi State, was mentioned, Senate President Godswill Akpabio was also mentioned. I think in this their drama, people should just, you know, realize that when you make allegations, you may be called upon to prove them. The law does not allow anybody, you may not have broken any law, but the law does not allow anybody, no matter how highly placed, to start accusing people of intent to commit murder, intent to kill, intent to cause violence. And the details, you know, she said she was privy to, those persons who have been maligned publicly could take her to account and ask her to come and prove where there was any discussion at all that they were planning to assassinate her. Those are very grave allegations. And I think maturity will require that people, you know, should be careful what they say about other people, no matter what the politics. And that's what Senator Akpoti. As for Senator Elisha Abbo, once a senator, you are a senator for life. He represented Adamawa North. Now, it sounds like sour grapes. It sounds like, you know, vengeance, right? I think that's the right word. It sounds like personal animus by, you know, seizing this opportunity of the conflict between Senator Akpoti and Senator Akpabio for him to go public, to also begin to abuse Senator Akpabio, accusing him of vindictiveness, accusing him of being like an emperor in the National Assembly. That's the way it came across to me. And then there are other details in what he said. He said his last month's salary was not paid. I thought it was removed by the court. So it was as a result of a legal process that he lost his case in court. If the court had already, removed him from the from the Senate, why should he expect to be paid? He said another thing, that senators of the Federal Republic are usually paid before the 19th, in line with federal government rules. So the federal government of Nigeria pays senators salaries before the 19th, when most of the people in the civil service and public service of Nigeria, some of them do not receive salaries for months. There are government agencies in this country where you cannot get salary even at the end of the month. So they seem to be very privileged persons. So those other people working for the federal government, going to work every day, this is what they say. When they say that our senators are overpampered and overpaid. Good point. In addition to allowances, the third point he made was about, you know, cars being allowed to be taken away. Why should they go away with their cars? That, again, is a serious allegation. Did they pay for those vehicles that were given to them? And he says he was not the only one. He was the only one that was not given the car. So this, again, is, a revelation of the kind of, behavior that we find at the highest levels. People will go away when they leave office with furniture, with vehicles. One more point. When he said, Senator Akpabio said 5 senators will be removed from the National Assembly. Senator Akpabio is not the one that elects senators. He's first among equals as Senate president. So Elisha Abbo will have to prove how the Senate president can just say, oh, you have been removed from the Senate. That's a bit, a flight of fancy kind of allegation. If you are taken to court and you lose, in election petition matters, that's not Akpabio. Well said. If your people don't vote for you and you don't come back, that's not Akpabio. If the president says, okay, 2 senators have been appointed ministers by the president of Nigeria, is it Akpabio that went to tell President Tinubu to remove those 2? So some of those allegations don't quite add up together.
Those are good questions. Well said, Dr. Abati. But Rufai, Senator Natasha Akpoti's homecoming was quite the sight. When I saw those videos circulating online, I was in awe because, we've been talking about the recall process and the amount of people that had, tried to remove or recall Natasha. But then we saw a mammoth crowd welcoming her. I'd like to read Aisha Yusufu's tweet before I come to you so that we can, discuss it all. Well, Aisha Yusufu wrote, I woke up this morning and I am more encouraged than ever. I have been talking about how the legislative arm of government is the bedrock of democracy. And Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan has shown me what having 300 Natashas at the National Assembly can look like. Let's do this, people. One voice. Again, she was one of the women that we honored, women making impact in Nigeria. Arise News honored her. And her speech was quite moving. She said that she wasn't sure she was going to come up stage or she was going to come for the award because of all the media trial, but she got the loudest applause. And for her, it was a testament that, her movement, her allegations felt valid, Rufai.
So a couple of things. Again, I want to put a caveat first. We have not seen the evidence. I can't say Akpabio is wrong. I can't say Senator Natasha is wrong. Senator Akpabio is wrong. Senator Natasha is wrong until we get an investigation into what has happened. I think I should put that first. And we can't take sides. We are never taking sides. We have never taken sides. But a couple of things as regards what happened in Kogi. I have a couple of questions for the Kogi government. In Kingsley Fawo's letter, he said because there were skirmishes as regards fishermen and 1 or 2 people died. And that's why they blocked every path and blocked major roads into Kogi. So since when we've been having terrorist attack and jailbreaks, why didn't the Kogi government block all the roads?
Those are the questions.
There was a jailbreak, and there have been many incidents of terrorist attack in Kogi. At a point, it was a hotbed. Why didn't they block all the axes to be able to prevent people from coming in? Because that allusion, for me, to those 2 incidents in those local governments was not strong enough. They blocked everywhere to the extent that Senator Akpoti had to come in with a helicopter. She got in there. The same events that they said was going to not be peaceful turned out to be peaceful. And when Kingsley Fawo was interviewed, he said she made some statements. A couple of things. And I'll go back to those statements. Yes, the principle is he who alleges must prove.
Yeah.
But for her to make those statements in the first place speaks volumes of our system. The question is, who has investigated those statements she has made? Who has investigated if there was a need or if there was a meeting of some sort like she claimed in the first place? And she too must be ready to make, appropriate submission. But I must repeat, if anything happens to Natasha, we will speak loudly because nothing must happen to her. She's a citizen, she has every right. And when you look at it, there's always an element of bad faith. How did somebody making an allegation against the Senate president lead to a recall in the first place if there was not a level of connivance?
No, like, what's the correlation?
So there's no correlation.
No correlation.
So for those that want logic, I've given them logic. Yeah. All we'll have thought is that they investigated that in the House, but all of a sudden it has led to a recall, and we are hearing fictitious signatures everywhere. Thirdly, I don't agree with Senator Elisha Abbo on everything, the sex toy thing and everything.
He said it was a candy shop.
Candy shop. But with due respect, it is in the time of malice that things will come up. And I don't see anything wrong with Elisha Abbo, because this is going on with Senator Natasha Akpoti and Senator Akpabio now, speaking up about his own incident. It is when things happen. What we should investigate is that, are all the things Elisha Abbo saying, are they wrong?
Yeah, must investigate.
So each must be able to provide evidence for all this. I don't see anything in being vindictive. If you human beings everywhere do it, they see something happening to somebody and they make their point known about it. The question is, all these allegations, is it wrong? And we should be able to investigate. How will somebody know who will be pulled out and not be pulled out? It speaks volumes about our processes and systems in this country.
A lot of points.
All we just want is fairness across board. And please, I must also reiterate, nothing must happen to Natasha Akpoti.
All right.
Please. The authorities said she has written a petition to the IG. The IG can also call out to investigate to provide evidence.
Right.
But nothing, I repeat, must happen to Natasha Akpoti in this country.
Well said. We'll follow up on the story. We'll take another story now. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2-week working visit to Paris has been met with a flurry of reactions online. Well, according to Bayo Onanuga, the president's special advisor on media and publicity, the purpose of the president's visit is to conduct a midterm appraisal of his administration, review key achievements, and plan future reforms. This visit marks Tinubu's 7th trip to Paris since taking office in 2023. While the visit is officially described as work focus, some Nigerians have expressed skepticism, questioning the frequency and necessity of such trips, especially in light of Nigeria's ongoing economic challenges, while others support the president's international engagements, viewing them as necessary for governance and diplomacy. Let me read part of Bayo Onanuga's statement he put out yesterday, State House press statement. During the visit, the president will appraise his administration's midterm performance and assess key milestones. He will also use the retreat to review the progress of ongoing reforms and engage in strategic planning ahead of his administration's 2nd anniversary. This period of reflection will inform plans to deepen ongoing reforms and accelerate national development priorities in the coming year. While away, President Tinubu will remain fully engaged with his team and continue to oversee governance activities. He'll return to Nigeria in about a fortnight, very soon, in about a fortnight. Let me take a reaction before I come to you, Vimbai. This person wrote, when will the French president also visit Nigeria on working visit? Working visit indeed. What has been the benefit of all these working visits to Nigeria and Nigerians? Asking Nigerians to tighten their belt, but on the other hand, traveling every 3 months and exporting dollars instead of produce. What is the exchange rate today? Or is he going to spend naira in France? A good leader leads by example, and wasting money for travels, parking slot and demurrage costs for the jet etc. is not one of the quality of a leader who cares for the citizens. Besides, you all claimed he has reformed the country. What is he always going to do in France? And how long will it take to build or make available here in Nigeria? May God save Nigeria. That was such a cheeky tweet. But you know, that's the opposition speaking there. And that is the question out there for, you know, many Nigerians who are really facing the economic hardship. They see the president going on these trips, and yet they're saying that, you know, the president has conducted a lot of reforms. But on the other side, people are applauding his foreign trips. Vimbai.
Oji, you know, earlier before you came on, Aaron was broadcasting from Uyo, and we spoke about the beauty of Uyo and Akwa Ibom. Fantastic places where the president can go and get some fresh air and reflect on, you know, as we reach the 2-year milestone of this administration. There's Obudu, Cattle Ranch, up in the beautiful mountains, beautiful fresh air there. Jos, wow, Jos is still a place that gives you so much respite. You can relax, there are so many wonderful places where one can go and refresh and reflect right here in Nigeria. And we would expect him to be the chief marketing officer of all of those wonderful places. Imagine the economic contribution he would make when he and his entourage arrive in these places, support the local tourism sectors, the local hotels, the local... So this doesn't read well, especially when you go on social media and you start seeing people from other countries, especially African countries, crack jokes about this and start saying, oh, so where's your president this week, and so forth. It doesn't look good. That's one thing. The optics of it, the cost of it. We've been preaching Orosaya reports since 2023. We've not seen any cut down, a few announcements made here and here, but any tangible cut in government spending, no, we have not. Then the other thing is, Oji, the entire world is talking about Donald Trump's tariffs, Liberation Day. Guess what? Other African presidents have started reacting to the percentage of tariffs imposed on them. Nigeria just got slapped with a 14% tariff from the United States. Our crude goes to United States, and our entire national budget is based off of crude. Where's the reaction? We're waiting for the reaction from Nigeria, yet to get a response. There's so many things going on right now that I don't think we have the luxury of a 2-week break in a beautiful resort somewhere in Europe. It's just, the optics are wrong, and it also just does not read well. We have more pertinent issues. Now, very quickly before, I know you want to move on, very, very quickly. Senator Natasha Akpoti, when I think back to some of the stories that I've heard from Senator Florence Itagiwa about her experience as a woman in politics, what it's like on the campaign trail, what it's like even when you get to that senatorial seat, the level of threats, the level of violence, the level of... It just drops your jaw. Yeah. So some of these, if she comes out in public to say some of these things, yes, I'm glad she has reported it. However, let's speak to the other lawmakers, female lawmakers especially, and find out what they actually go through on their road to get into these offices. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Absolutely. Well, you made a point where, you know, talking about Tinubu's visit, so many problems in Nigeria that we are facing here, Dr. Abati. Before I come to you on Wednesday, Lagosians were faced with extreme traffic jams due to the closure of the Falomore Bridge Commuters experienced delays of over 7 hours, with some reaching home after midnight. The situation led to a debate online about the urgent need for infrastructure improvements, traffic management, and the sustainability of daily commuting in Lagos. I mean, here we see some amateur videos. I believe that the Works Minister has responded by, ordering the reopening of the Independence Bridge to ease congestion. But look at what we are facing in Nigeria. This actually is the Borderline Road. I mean, imagine this highbrow area. We are seeing this sort of traffic. It was so tragic to experience yesterday. That's the word that I used to describe it. Dr. Abati, a quick comment on both so that I move to the next very important
When Rotus was on this program, I made a point that this was as a result of the closure of Independence Bridge. And the closure of that Independence Bridge, ended up putting many Nigerians in a situation of forced imprisonment, which is a breach of their fundamental human rights. Some people, as you have pointed out, in fact, slept on the road.
Yes.
Some had to go and look for hotels.
I spent 6 hours.
I heard you didn't make it to work because of that.
Some lost opportunities as a result of that. In terms of cost, I think it was an unfair development. And the question is, the Federal Ministry of Works, the disruption that happened was clearly foreseeable. And they could have prevented it. They could have planned ahead. And then the moment that gridlock occurred, it took hours. Now, it also took the Federal Ministry of Works hours to eventually intervene and say, reopen that Independence Bridge, which was why, in fact, there was even some form of disruption this morning because people left home very early. Yes. It wasn't everybody that knew. Very early in the morning, certain parts of Lagos were again already blocked just because government did not act, quick enough. The second thing is that, look, I thought in the past, if there were traffic disruptions of this level, apart from the people being informed, once a crisis occurs, there will be updates. There will be explanations. Up to this moment, nobody has given us any explanation for the kind of disruption that we experienced yesterday. These are the issues here. And I've advised Rotus that maybe he should, as an economist, work out the cost. Yes. The cost will run into billions of naira. Who is going to compensate poor Nigerians, poor Lagosians for that?
In fact, let us start by prorating the cost. Rotus couldn't sleep in his home yesterday. He had to sleep in a hotel.
Can you imagine?
Who is going to pay for that hotel cost? There were many people that had to sleep in hotels yesterday. Can you prorate the amount of people that slept in hotels, especially in this part where it's very expensive? If you want to get a good, decent room around this area, it's over 95K.
All right.
So probably prorate it times hundreds, or even in case of thousands of people that slept in there.
Right.
What about people that went to the hospital as they got home because of their blood pressure? What about people that had accidents? What about all of that? And in all of this...
And the many grade A Tokumbo vehicles that broke down on the road.
Very sad.
What about the emission?
Really sad.
That is coming out. And in all of this, the minister, with due respect, was saying, we have opened the road this morning. Is it the place that they have excavated yesterday that I saw that they've opened again?
Well, all right. We'll follow up on the story as usual. Really, really troubling situation right here in Lagos. We'll take another story now. The tragic death of a pregnant woman in Lagos who was allegedly denied treatment by a private hospital because her husband was unable to pay a 500,000 naira deposit has sparked outrage online. Mr. Folajimi, the husband, claimed in a viral video that the private hospital refused to provide emergency care for his wife upon their arrival at the hospital, despite her critical condition. They were then referred to a general hospital in Ekpe, where his wife died en route. Well, let's take a look at what transpired.
Can you see me? Can you see me? Please, stay with me. Please, Kemi. You know I love you, Kemi. You know. That's why you need to be strong, yeah? Do you know I love you? Do you know I love you? You know. You know. You have to be strong for... Kemi, you have to be strong for me, please. Please open your eyes. Yeah? She will be okay, Abi. Yeah? Kemi, Joe. Mo fi kunle Abi amon be Kemi, Joe. Anywhere, any hospital you can allow anywhere. Any hospital. This is the hospital that I brought my wife yesterday. And they rejected her. And unfortunately, she's dead now.
this was really sad. I mean, I had a video of the man's statement there. I mean, we've seen this happen time and time again. I have actually lost a really good family friend from this sort of incident where, you know, he died of a bullet wound or blood and all of that. This hospital, I don't know if we can play up that video of the hospital so our viewers can see. They have to hold this hospital on account because if this actual incident is true, it has raised a lot of valid discussions about, you know, saving lives before money being by. Quickly.
You know, it's a very sensitive conversation because, you know, some might say, the private hospitals will say, but the government is supposed to be supporting the public institutions. Private hospitals are businesses, you know. So it's a very complicated conversation as far as I'm concerned. But then what do we do in matters of life and death? What, you know, they're supposed to first save lives. But now, if we set that precedent, will they not be overwhelmed by people who are coming in daily who can't afford it? Because it's such a tricky, sensitive conversation. But pregnancy is such a risky venture that we all venture. And just because of the joy of wanting to have children, may her soul rest in peace.
Yes.
And may God just be with her family.
Well, I think this is such an important topic. I'd like to go take our good news story tomorrow. I'd like your thoughts on this conversation, Dr. Pat. I don't want this to be rushed. Rufai, to start with you quickly and then...
Okay, so please, the question I'd like to ask is, she had to go all the way to Ekpe to get a government hospital.
She died en route, yeah.
So where was the private hospital?
Lakowe.
So from Lakowe to Ekpe, is it that we don't have government hospitals in the middle of the fire that can take a pregnant woman like this? And on this Lekki corridor access, how many viable government hospitals do we have? That's an indictment on government. So from Lakowe, you have to travel all the way to Ekpe to get a government hospital that can take in somebody at an emergency situation like that. So what they say there's mega Lagos. They built Lagos.
All right.
Where are the hospitals they built?
There are also the emergency service unit, Dr. Abati.
Where is it?
Well, every doctor takes the Hippocratic Oath.
Yes,
and
this is
the principal
main point.
thing in the Hippocratic Oath is that doctors are required to save lives, not to look for money. But because of economic dispossession, because of poverty, this crisis has been there for long in this country. Where you go to a hospital, the first thing they ask you is to bring money. And then in this case, you know, the failure of human compassion on the part of the doctors who rejected this woman. And now she's dead.
All right.
So guys, you can see the kind of leadership we have in this country. A leadership that doesn't carry its people along. That's what we have under the Tinubu's government, you know. Tinubu will just wake up, Japa, despite all the crisis back home, you know. Despite all that is happening, Tinubu finds it comfortable, suitable to leave Nigeria at a time when people are crying. The level of insecurity in this country is alarming. Even today, the people of Benue were crying. These headers attacked Benue State today, attacked Plateau State. In short, one of the headlines says the people are vacating their community because of headers attack. Nobody is talking, but guess what? The only one that happened in Urumi, the Edo State governor had to quickly go to the north, went to Abuja, went to Kanu, begging, pleading that he's going to compensate the families, that please, because he fears war from the north. And look at where we are now. Tinubu is out, has jetted out of the country, when the people in Plateau State, in Benue State are all lamenting as I'm talking to you now. There is real crisis. These headers, they've decided to overrun the south and the middle belt. They have decided to take over. When it was just Buhari, people said, oh, because Buhari is a northerner, he's a Fulani, he wants to protect his people. Now that Tinubu is there, Tinubu is doing nothing. When I mean nothing, I mean nothing. Despite having the northerners at the helms of affairs when it comes to security. You know, they are the ones in the military. They are the ones, Minister of Police, Minister of Security, Minister of this one. The northerners are occupying all those spaces. But guess what? People are being buyed. They can't give those positions to the Igbos. They cannot. They have vowed that the Igbos will not be carried along in leadership in this country. When the Igbos say, we want to be on our own, they will say no. You want to keep them, you want to enslave them. And that is what the Igbos are not going to take. Now, see what is happening in the country. Tinubu will just jet out of the country without even considering the consequences of all these things. For 2 weeks, Tinubu is going to be out of the country. He will be running the country from France. Can you imagine that? This level of failure under the APC-led government. Buhari came, people say, oh, this was the worst. Buhari took us 100 years back. Tinubu has come. I don't even know how to describe Tinubu now. And we don't even know how much backwardness we are going to be experiencing under the Tinubu's government. Because these people, they don't care. It's all about their personal interests. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.